Hello and welcome to this session where we talk about taking action. Yes, we're going to focus entirely on web client enhancements that help our customers work more productively with actions in the action bar. My name is Mike Borch-Cardona. I'm a product manager at Microsoft, and today I'm joined with my colleague Ivan. Great to have you with us, Ivan. We've done some really exciting things in terms of productivity with the action bar recently, haven't we?
So thank you, Mike. My name is Ivan Koletic. I'm a product manager at Microsoft as well. In the previous release, we've introduced Modern Action Bar, which brought a lot of improvements to Actions and Action Bar in Business Central. From improved language model for promoting and modeling actions in the Action Bar, improved personalization to consistent placement of actions in actions and action categories across application. In this release, we've continued investing in Action Bar to make sure we provide even more productive experience for our users. In this session, Mike and I will take you through the following. So Mike will start with access keys with key tips to show you how to use keyboard more effectively with the action bar. And then I'll continue with the improvements we've made in sub-page action personalization. We'll talk a bit about ghosted and phantom action, and then about promoted actions optimization. So let's start with the first topic, which is access keys. Mike, back to you to the studio.
Thanks, Ivan. Well, our customers tell us that when time is critical, every keystroke and every mouse click really counts. So with Update 22, Business Central adopts the familiar experience from Microsoft 365 apps such as Word and Excel to boost efficiency for keyboard users. We're introducing the concept of access keys with key tips to help users quickly explore, navigate, and activate any action in the action bar and in the navigation menu. So let's take a moment to define those terms. Access keys are sequences of key presses to navigate UI controls. Key tips, on the other hand, are the modern, accessible, scalable, flexible visual hint that tells you what to press next. Let's jump straight into a demo and see this at work. So how about we start right here in the Business Central Role Center. I'll press the Alt key, which is how I initiate access keys. And this immediately displays a whole bunch of key tips at my disposal. Notice how some of the key tips match very closely what the caption is. For example, C for customers, V for vendors, I for items. Now, key tips are all about exploring what I can access and being able to activate it easily. So let me just explore the group of actions here. Notice how I have the letter X, and if I press X on my keyboard, I can now explore what's within that group of actions. And the next set of key tips are revealed to me. I can backtrack using the escape key. Now I'm back to that previous group of actions. So it's this exploration, this discovery of your links, your actions that you can go through using key tips. Let's check out some of the actions again. I'd like to go to payments, so I'll press the letter A. And each time, again, notice how it just reveals that next set of key tips. And here I'd go to reconcile imported payments. Let's press P, and it opens that page. Now, of course, I can also do that quickly. Let's do Alt, XAP. Look how quickly I got to Payment Reconciliation Journal in this case. Let's try out a few more things. So you can also see that the navigation menu is displayed in this case, and those happen to have double letters starting with the letter J. As I press the letter J on my keyboard, what happens is the key tips narrow down to only those which are applicable next. So now I can press the next key press, such as the letter F. So JF expands the finance group of links. And if I hit G, I will go to general journals. Let's try one more thing. Alt C will now take me to the customer list. Now inside the customer list and virtually all other pages as well, it's pretty much the same pattern with your access keys and your key tips. I will use the Alt key to expand and show my key tips again. Now in this case, because I reached the customers list from the Role Center, I've got both the action bar that belongs to the customer list, but also the navigation menus, the groups of navigation links that are also available above. So I can also switch to a different list from here fairly easily. But to illustrate what I can do with actions, let's focus on the action bar for now. I'm going to use the letter C to expand the customer group of actions here. And I want you to notice what happens as I change my mind. I actually don't want to go for an action just now to act on this particular customer, which is Rallycloud. I actually wanted to act on a different customer. So if I abandon the use of key tips using the Alt key, focus now remains exactly where it was before. So I can use my arrow keys now to move around the page. So focus doesn't shift, which was one of the big benefits of using access keys with key tips in this way, if I change my mind and I just want to backtrack. So let's go for School of Fine Art. We'll go through the same process. Alt C to reveal the actions for this customer. And now one of the things I'd like to show you as well is, sometimes you don't want to remember and memorize lengthy sequences. So you just want to remember the first or second level of key presses. So once I'm here in the customer menu, I can actually use my cursor keys, my arrow keys to go up and down to actually choose the particular action and hit enter on that to open up the customer statistics. Let's now create a new quote for this customer. I'm going to say Alt, N for new document, S for sales quote. And notice how I'm barely using my mouse in these situations, right? I'm going to use F6 to jump to the section here. We're going to add the Athens desk, quantity 2. And now I'm going to hit Alt again. And again, I've got access to those actions without using my mouse. I'm going to press W for print and send and P for print. So here you can see how access keys with key tips really help me navigate around those UI controls. I can use it to explore and activate things, but I can also use it really quickly as I memorize specific patterns to work really fast and efficient inside the web client. So after that short demo, here's a very simple cheat sheet to help you understand how this works. And you can go and apply this in all of these cases. So the Alt key press is what initiates showing the first key tips. And then as you drill down and explore a group of actions or navigation links, you use the actual specific key tip that is shown on screen. To activate it, you use that key tip. And if you want to navigate around once you have arrived in a group that you're interested in, you can use the arrow keys or even the tab key as well. To backtrack, use the escape key. That will take you up one level to the previous group you were in, the outer group. And if you ever want to abandon using access keys and key tips at any time, you'd use the Alt key, but you can also just click with your mouse anywhere on the screen. That will exit showing the key tips. Now, this is available in the navigation menus, including the navigation links that you see on your role center. It's available for the primary action bar on almost all pages. It's available for role center actions as well, as I showed you earlier. It is currently not available for what you could call secondary action bars on a page, such as if you have a subpage, such as on the document, sales lines, that set of actions that you get around the sales lines, those are currently not accessible via access keys. And the same counts for actions that are shown inside all kinds of context menus, for example, in your fact boxes or in your role center parts. So there are cases where we do not offer access keys just yet today, but we're very interested to hear your feedback and to understand if what we have right now in Update 22 is successful in making people more productive. Because if that is the case, we're absolutely interested in expanding this and growing it to all kinds of other controls in the client. Now, there's a few key points which don't come across clearly in that demo, so I want to make sure we talk about them here. First of all, we are initially only making this available for English languages. Now, that includes localized versions of English, such as US English, Canadian English, Great Britain English, and so on. And that's because of some of the nuances in languages which determine how key tips are actually assigned. Now, it's really imperative, again, that we hear from you that this is successful in English to understand if we should and how we should expand this to all kinds of other languages as well. Secondly, access keys do not replace keyboard shortcuts. I'll say that again. Access keys do not replace the use of keyboard shortcuts in Business Central. They actually complement keyboard shortcuts. Let me explain the difference here. So shortcuts are intended to activate an action no matter where you are, from anywhere, and activate that action immediately. Access keys, on the other hand, are intended more for exploring and activating actions. The difference also resides in, well, with the keyboard shortcut, you typically have a very fixed key press that you're going to use consistently everywhere, even across pages. And that's how we recommend application developers use keyboard shortcuts when they apply that to their actions. So use shortcuts for cases where it's an important action that has to be used very often and you want to create consistency across pages. A great example of that is the F9 keyboard shortcut for posting. You can use it for sales, you can use it for purchasing, in different document types as well. So shortcuts are great for the few important actions, and for everything else, you can rely on access keys. Now, you're probably curious about the magic behind this. Like, how do those key tips appear? How are they assigned? Well, we assessed the situation, and we understood that customers need productivity right now, today. We recognize that asking our partner community to update every single action on every single page to specify a key tip would take a long, long time. So we made a decision here to implement this directly in the platform. So what that means is that key tips are automatically assigned by the Business Central platform. It's a fully automatic process, which means AL developers need to put no effort, zero effort, no matter if you have customizations that introduce actions or if you're an ISV with an add-on application that has a whole bunch of new actions. You get all of this for free, and our customers benefit from this immediately with Update 22. Now, for us to achieve this, behind the scenes, Business Central has a rather complex algorithm, but just to simplify how it works, it's fundamentally about using characters from the caption of the action or the navigation link and picking the next best available character to show as a key tip. We've designed this to really be thoughtful around making it memorable. Try to find a character that matches the concept or matches the actual caption itself. We've designed this to be memorable also across pages to some degree, where certain actions are favored in terms of making sure they get the right character as a key tip. We've also designed this to reduce the number of keystrokes that are needed to get from A to B. So, try to favor single character key presses to activate things as much as possible. And finally, minimize change over time. So what do I mean by that? That one's actually pretty important. Key tips are not fixed. They're not hard-coded into the platform, as we say. They are computed at runtime. Now that's super interesting because what it means is that if you install an extension that adds actions or adds navigation menus, those could actually affect which key tips are shown on that page. If you personalize your experience by adjusting the layout of your actions to make it optimal for how you work, that will also result in potentially adjusting the key tips that are assigned to different captions. So key tips ultimately are dynamic. They may change over time, but we've put the utmost effort into making sure that that change is minimized. Ultimately, they follow your Business Central, however you have personalized it. Now, of course, personalization is an important topic in the world of Business Central. And for that, I'd like to hand over to Ivan.
So thank you, Mike. I just love the access key feature, as I'm one of those who likes using BC with nothing but keyboard. Next on our agenda is subpage action personalization, or how to tailor subpage actions to fit your unique business needs. This is the comparison of the personalization capabilities in legacy and modern action bar in subpages. First, we start off with categories and action groups. As you can see, you weren't able to reorder categories or action groups or even promote action groups to the top level. Now all of this is possible. With actions, you also weren't able to reorder action. Now you can actually do that. You can also promote actions and action groups to the manage group. The only exception in here is, as the manage group is somewhat similar to the home group in the main action bar, only the actions can be moved to the manage group. And of course, you can promote actions to the top level of the subpage action bar. Only caveat in here is you can only do that with the split buttons for now. Subpage actions are now automatically expanded, which gives you more actions accessible in fewer clicks. This gets enabled when modern action bar is turned on in feature management page. Manage Group offers one-click access to the most important subpage actions. When modern action bar is turned on, Manage Group will be automatically pinned. There's also more granular control over clearing personalization, so you can choose whether to clear personalization for actions, for columns, or for all of the personalization for the subpage. This also comes with a warning, as some of the subpages can be reused in multiple places, so clearing personalization affects this part wherever you use it. Now let me take you through some of the subpage action personalization improvements in a short demo. So as I mentioned before, the first thing that you will notice is that the subpage action bar is automatically expanded. You can find the manage group also automatically pinned when you turn on the modern action bar experience. Let's see what happens when you go and try to personalize it. As I mentioned, one of the things that you can do right now, you can move the split buttons like this one to the top or to the root level of the subpage action bar. You can also do the similar thing now with other groups. So you can move groups to the top level. And another thing that you can do is you can actually move individual action, for example, to this manage group, which is automatically pinned, which gives you sort of one-click access. The moment you open the page, you get access to those actions that exist in the manage group. So that was all for the demo. So next up are ghosted and phantom actions. You may wonder, what are you talking about? So let me explain. With modern action bar, we introduced a rule when all actions of the action groups are promoted, we hide such action group from the action repository. That's that right-hand side of the action bar. This makes action repository easy to browse, removes duplication of actions when user is not in the personalization mode. Until now, when personalizing actions, only ghosted styling was used to represent the visibility of actions and action groups. This was confusing users, as it was hard to understand why a specific action was ghosted. Was it because it was promoted through codes or by the end user? One of the side effects was a confusion about why show action is available on some actions and not on the others, even though the tooltip was there to explain it. So to better communicate the state of actions, we introduced these so-called phantom actions, so it is clear to the user which rules are applied when they are working in a personalization mode. This means that now ghosted styling is only used when actions are explicitly hidden by code or by the end user, like display action is hidden by code, or post and send action, for example, was one of the actions that I've hidden as a user. When actions are hidden or promoted by client rules, they are shown in this new phantom, as you can see, italic but not ghosted styling. For example, post, batch, and preview are all promoted and shown in a promoted section of the action bar. This is where a client applied a rule based on code, and you can now notice the difference in styling, how post and send and test report actions are shown, which were explicitly hidden by the user. For modern action bar investment we did in the previous release, we know that consistent placement of actions builds trust with Business Central. It helps new users learn Business Central faster, and it helps proficient users utilize muscle memory when they are going outside of their usual paths. Making action bar consistent across many pages that represent business functionality in Business Central is a big problem, as it consists of 1,500 pages with promoted areas. This time around, we focused on promoted actions of additional base application pages in Business Central across 24 localizations that Microsoft delivers. Our goal was to make sure promoted categories and actions are consistently placed in pages. At the same time, promotion of actions was informed by usage insights from over 280 million data points that we collected over the course of 1 year. Result of this is several promoted actions that were hidden behind 4 to 6 clicks in the action repository and are now promoted and consistently placed in additional pages in base application. And that was it. Mike took you through access keys with key tips. We've looked at all productivity improvements in subpage action bar personalization and mentioned ghosted, phantom, and additional promoted actions throughout the base application. If you're interested in hearing more about Web Client, make sure that you watch the mentioned What's New in Web Client session as well. There's plenty more resources if you're looking to get started with Business Central, or follow the buzz on social media, or engage with the product engineering team. We are always interested in hearing your stories and feedback about how Microsoft can help you transform your business. On behalf of Business Central team, Mike and me, we'd like to thank you for tuning in and see you in the next session.